Hello there folks and fellow idol enthusiasts, welcome back to another sewing vlog. Today I'll be making Mitsuru Tenma from Ensemble Star. This one is a commission project that I did for a friend of mine. In the past, I made them quite a lot of cosplay since they're a regular client of mine as well, and all I can say is that they've given me quite the journey and challenge as a Stitch Witch. This time, they've given me something that was a bit more intimidating to take on as it requires many ingredients, spells to cast, and time, but I believe in myself and I was able to conjure this glorious and gaudy masterpiece out. I too made quite a few idol costumes back in my youngster days, but this one probably topped all the shizzles and sparkles. Here are the breakdowns to the outfit that I did to figure out what is even going on. There's a whole lot of small meticulous details going on everywhere and I wanted to make sure I got everything in the correct order before I start. I'm starting off with a jacket. For this one I'll be using like simplicity patterns and making heavy modification to it after since there's going to be a lot of panels and blocking to do. I'm cutting everything out and making a mock-up version first. I want to make sure the jacket fits accordingly before making any modification to it. So the mock-up stage is actually really crucial is because it's where I figure out where everything's gonna be. So basically on this jacket, I figure out where the star is gonna be exactly the size, and then I figure out where the lapel is gonna be and how far wide the inches of the button is gonna be. So after figuring out and measuring all those out, I put those back on the pattern so I know when I'm making the actual one, then I know where everything's going to be afterwards. After the mock-ups and figuring out the placements of the panels, I started cutting and splicing up all the pieces. This process took the longest since there's a lot of blockings and piecing everything together in sections. For the yellow part, I had to do a little dyeing since the fabric I got didn't come in yellow. I'm using Rit Dye More for this since the fabric is composed majority of synthetic. Here's the before and after of the fabric. The jacket pattern is all complete and ready for cutting. I wasn't kidding when I said there's a lot going on with this jacket. Cutting out everything also took a really long time since not only I have a million pieces, but I also had the lining and double layering to do. So after having everything cut out, it is finally time to assemble the jacket. This actually took a few days to do because initially I have to start off with a commercial pattern and then modifying it, blocking out the patterns and colors, and then turning it into a brand new pattern for this jacket here, and then cutting out all the pieces, which took a while because there's actually like quite a lot of them, and I still have the lining to do after, but I'll do that later. And now I'm gonna be layering some fabrics together and then finally putting everything together and then the design. So yeah, I can finally start assembling the jacket together now. After 1,000 years, here we have everything finally all cut out and ready to be sewn together. I also began working and adding on all the outer details of the jacket, such as the pockets and the little trim details that goes around the jacket. Then slapping it all together and sewing it. I also spent most of the time top stitching the entire jacket as well. Fun times. This outfit has some wild design going on, like these giant grommets here. I didn't have the tools to attach these big ones because they were quite expensive for this size, so I improvised and they ended up working out. For the star designs, I found these glorious glitter pleather which I'll applique and sew onto the jacket. I apply heat and bond onto it before using my Cricut to cut out the design. Then I ironed it onto the jacket and sewn it down. It's so shiny and gaudy, I love it. It's just literally sparkle on sparkle. It's so glittery and reflective. It's beautiful. So I'm going full hammer on this entire jacket by literally top stitching every single seams on this entire jacket. So that's what I'm doing right now as I'm putting the jacket all together, including the lining as well.
Eventually.
And with that, the jacket is now finally finished and complete, and I can move on to the pants next. It took me a couple weeks in total with figuring out the patterns, blocking out the colors, splicing, and basically remodifying the entire pattern that I used previously for this onto a brand new pattern right here. As I mentioned, I have everything from inside and out of this jacket top stitched because I want everything to lay flat with the seams because there's like a lot of designs on it, it can get pretty bulky and it's already a thick jacket itself. So I want to top stitch and make sure all the seams lay flat and also so it looks nice. So everything, especially the colors, I had to switch the thread in and out a lot for top stitching, so that took me quite a bit. I also sewed down the pleather, the sparkly pleather right here, so I have that going on. I originally used the heat and bond just to keep it down so I can sew on it. And then I also have all these notions that's just hanging around. I don't really know the purpose of those aside from aesthetic look, so they're just chilling around. And then there's this collar right here so that I really don't understand. It looks like something from Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Made real buttonholes for it just in case as well, so it's detach it from this whenever. And all the seams and the colors also line up. I made sure because that was also one of the most important thing because if it focused, yeah. I made sure all this lined up because I made all the colors separate and splicing it, so that was the one thing I wanted to make sure that they all lined up. And here's just another notion on the side of this jacket. And then the pleated pocket right here in the back. I added a plastic snap as well on both the pockets in the front and back, just so it has like some sort of closure. And then the big sparkly star right here. I actually like these in the end because it actually doesn't come off as I expected. I was really worried that like if you rub it so hard that the glitter start coming off, but I haven't really had any trouble with that so far, so that's good to know. This is my favorite part of the seams because this actually took quite a bit to line up as well, but it turned out nice. The jacket is all complete. And I can move on to the pants next. Here we have are some fun and glorious pair of asymmetrical pants to make. I'll be using another commercial based pattern and modifying it as I go. Just had to do some size and length adjustment.
Many months later.
So I actually started this like a few months back, but then after finishing the jacket, I put it on hold to start on another project only because the pants was actually looks daunting, so I just put it on the backlog. It wasn't due anytime soon, but now I thought since it's already almost in the middle of the summer, I should go ahead and finish it so I can just get over it. But yeah, the pants has a lot going on, so I'm gonna start cutting things out and see where I go from there. After finishing up the final adjustment and design for the pattern, I start cutting out the fabric. For the pants, I'm also lining the inside of the fabric itself because it's a little see-through and we don't want any peep shows going on here. Honestly, the longest process of this whole thing when it comes to like sewing and putting things together is basically just cutting, because I think I spent more long hours cutting and then pinning and putting it together than actually like sewing it. So now that everything's all cut out, or at least the underlining part that I'm gonna attach to the outer fabric, I'm just gonna stitch them all together. So yeah, so that one's next. I got all the basic part cut out in line, so next step is adding on the stripes design and color details.
Later.
So I got the red stripes in, but these took forever to do. I think it literally took like a full day just to cut the strip out, and because it's a knit, the crease doesn't iron very well to make the bias tape part, so I had to really sew them down and heat them and then apply them onto here. But yeah, it's something, and getting over the thick part like the pockets here. But yeah, so far I'm done with the red part, and I'm gonna go apply all the other shenanigans like the belt accessory randomly on one of the legs, and then the black part of the design, and probably then I can't figure out putting on the zipper because there's a random zipper on the lower leg of the left or right side, whichever it was. And yeah, so there's that progress so far. After the red trimming details, I added on the rest of the whatever they're supposed to be designs with the black and accessory parts. I actually YOLO'd this part, but it actually came out pretty good. So yeah, the zipper is attached. Makes no sense on functionality wise, but it's there for aesthetic reason. With all the accessories and shenanigans attached to the pants, I was finally able to assemble the whole thing together. The last part to the pants would be attaching on the waistband and the final touches on the hemming. And here we have a finished pair of glorious whatever is supposed to be pants. Breathes heavily because I am finally done with these pants. These were quite something to work on, and I thought I was actually pulling hair because I had a hard time figuring out where everything is, but after breaking everything down, I did it. It wasn't as daunting as I thought it was gonna be, mostly because the design was just everywhere. But yeah, I figured it out. It worked out. Started with the pants, had to sew on the red part first, and then put on this black one right here, and then worked on these separately. Put this on, the zipper my thingy on, and yeah, and sewed everything together. And then the last part was the waistband. It has pockets as well. Here's the drawstring for it. But yeah, it's all finally finished. The outfit's all done, and I can wrap this all up and hand this over to the clients. But yeah, these are something. I don't think I ever made pants like these before, but then again, my friend who commissioned this for me is known for like really wild and funky designs, so I'm not surprised if the next project in the future is gonna top this. And here we have a finished idol boy outfit. I complained a lot during the making, but it was pretty fun figuring out the patterns and getting creative with parts such as using glitter pleather and discovering new things for future uses. I made plenty of idol outfit in the past, so I definitely understand how wild they can be when it comes to the design aspects. Making them functional and actually wearable is the challenging part, but I made it work with this one. It took a lot of breaking down and visually piecing out everything, but it turned out great. This concludes the making of Mitsuru Tenma's Sunny Sunrise outfit from Ensemble Star. I hope you all enjoy my sewing vlog, and if you would like to see more future projects from me, subscribe and leave a like on your way out. I will see you all in my next videos. Toodles!